Hey guys, Rob the Spiritual Nomad here, and I just got done with a gym workout, and the coach is fond of saying, you got to put in the work, you got to put in the work. And it just reminds me in the area of spirituality and in self-development, this phrase that we throw around often of, you got to do the work. And somebody asked me, I think it was last weekend, like Rob, how do you define the work that you do? I've got 5 ways I want to share about how I define the work. The first one is uh, have an intentional practice that stimulates self-awareness. That's huge. The work is all about whether or not we are becoming more and more aware of ourselves, how we function, how we feel, how we move, how we think, how we react and respond to things, the things around us that trigger and stimulate us, that arouse certain tendencies in us, that put into motion different patterns. So the first part about doing the work is having an intentional practice that stimulates self-awareness. For many people, that's meditation. That's what it is for me, and that's probably one of the best. The second is to have an intentional method to process your observations. For most people, that's journaling, some way to write it down. Somebody might pick up their phone and press the audio record button on the app there. But to have some kind of intentional method to capture the observations that are happening when we're trying to be self-aware. Third, have an intentional plan to change something in your life. So when we observe things and then we have a method for taking note of them, we want to do something with the things that we're learning, right? That's why they're called aha moments, right? We want to change, we want to grow. And then the fourth thing is have an intentional conversation about it all with someone that you trust. That's huge. Doing the work means having a therapist, having a best friend, having a partner, having somebody that you work with, somebody that can process a lot of this stuff with you and give you some feedback. Somebody who's willing to speak honestly. Hey, listen, if you've got friends who don't speak truth into your life, then it's time to fire those friends and get new ones, right? If you've got friends who just want to tell you what you want to hear and make you feel good and tell you nothing's your fault, those are not the kind of friends you really need, because you're not going to really grow. I've had to fire friends before because they end up being sycophants, yes people. I don't need that in my life. And finally, number 5, I want to have in my life an intentional mindset to progress and evolve. So those are the 5 things: an intentional practice that stimulates self-awareness, an intentional method to process observations, an intentional plan to change something in my life, an intentional conversation about it with somebody I trust, and then an intentional mindset to progress and evolve. That's what I think it looks like to do the work. What do you guys think? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Thanks for watching.